All right, hello, my name is Peter Jackson, and we are Team CIA. First, I'd like to introduce Billy Wilkinson and Terry from Invenio Solutions. Thank you so much for coming today. I'd also like to introduce our team. This is Kyle Ruck. He's going to be talking to you about our primary and secondary research. This is Kevin Lee. He's going to be talking to you about our findings and conclusions. And this is Adam Bonneville. He's going to be talking to you about our recommendations. So the purpose of our analysis was to share information and offer recommendations to Invenio Solutions to help improve the recruitment of a motivated sales force. So I'm going to hand it over to Kyle, and he's going to talk to you about our primary and secondary research.
Once again, my name is Kyle Ruck, and I'll be talking to you about primary research. So the way we conducted our primary research was by using a lot of surveys to pass out to St. Edward's. We passed them out mainly to the business students so we can get a good general or a more specific scope towards this major, or business majors for the sales associate jobs. So we distributed around 300 surveys so we can get a percent confidence of about 92%. And inside those surveys we had a variety of different questions so we could hit all demographics, such as the first one was, are you a business major or not? So that we could separate them from business majors and non-business majors, so we could get a wide variety of how the college student is thinking about how they're going into the workforce or what they want to do once they get into the workforce. And the way we did this was, in our classes, we at the end of class we asked our teachers if we could pass out our surveys to our classmates, and then they turned them in as they walked out the door. So we didn't just get business majors, we also passed them out to random students just walking around. We were very, not aggressive, but we got in their faces quite a lot so we can, get the answers we needed. Once we did that, we sat down as a team together and hand tallied everything so that we got the right numbers on all of ours. We ended up getting 257 full and accurate responses from our classmates, and that's it. For the secondary research, we looked up articles online so that we could, with the specifics of students becoming recent college grads going into the workforce, and specifically the sales associate area. And the first one we got from the Wall Street Journal, it's Generation Jobless. And one of its main points that it had was that from the generation of 20 to 24-year-olds, that they are more interested in sales associate jobs than they were before, due to the recent recession we had and the lack of jobs there are. More and more people are seeing the potential in sales associate jobs and are coming in and looking for these jobs. But there was one drawback that he said. It was most of them were afraid of a low salary or no salary at all, being mainly commission-based. So he said that was one huge drawback for recent college grads. The second one was a website that was called Recruiting Tips. It basically gave us this was also specifically towards the age group of 20 to 24-year-olds. And it basically gave us a overview of what our generation and how we react to companies contacting us and trying to recruit us. And one of the main ones was that we like to be contacted every day. We're a very spontaneous generation. We get distracted very easily. So, with the updating emails every day or every other week and stuff like that, that would help us be more interested in keeping that company on their mind. And so, that being said, the main thing they try to get you to do is to strive to be the first people on their mind, the first company that they want. If they're like, okay, I'm ready to go into the job. I'm ready to go in the job force, I want to call this company. And now I'm going to hand it off to Kevin with the findings and solutions of this, or findings and conclusions of this research.
Thank you. So my name is Kevin Lee, and my primary responsibility was the primary research findings and conclusions. We made a survey that would help, we crafted a survey that would help find information that Invenio would help them better understand how to collect a motivated sales force. So this first graph shows that accountants, financial analysts, and sales associate had a 20% selection rate out of all the students that we surveyed at St. Edward's. In our next survey, this shows what qualities you look for in a company. So, profitability was the most sought after characteristic, coming in at around 46% of the time for qualities in a company.
Is that profitability to the employee or profitability to the company?
Just to the company.
To the company, how profitable the company is. Okay.
Yeah. Location and work environment came in for 20% of the time as a first selection choice. And unsurprising enough, environmental friendliness came in about 44% of the time, coming in 5th place. So right in there. Our next figure shows what do you look for in a first job out of college. And we highlighted the most significant one, which is pay. A lot of fresh college grads are looking to get as pay as their determining basis in a first job, coming in at around 56% of the time. Pay also came in either first or second, almost 80% of the time. So students really care about pay, and this indicates that college students are more interested in pay and immediate compensation rather than the work environment. So on to the next one, figure 5. This shows that 82% of the people don't really care if they work at the office or not, but around the remaining 20% care, and I think Adam will get to that later on in the presentation. So figure 7A depicts what college students thought a good starting salary would be, and the annual salary plus bonuses and performances. Obviously, since pay was the #1 choice in figure 3, students are going to expect to make a little bit more money. Figure 7B shows what students expect to make between a combination of bonuses and base salary pay. 70% of the students expect to make a maximum of $55,000 coming out of college. So figure 8 demonstrates how long it takes a college student to decide if they want to commit to staying to a job. 78% of the students indicated that they would rather stay at a job in the first 5 months of working there. And this question is more significant because for the retention portion of our recommendations. So on to recommendations. We have Adam on.
All right, so my name is Adam Bonville, and I'll be making recommendations on behalf of Cygnus Anates to Invenio Solutions based on our survey results. So our first recommendation has to do with contacting students personally. We feel that because so many students responded to the question, would you apply to a company if they contacted you directly, that Invenio should really start making efforts, going to more job fairs, sending out mass emails, even making phone calls. And we know that that can be time consuming. So we kind of had a mixed solution, if you will. We said for an email template, say you're trying to target a certain demographic, say you're trying to target business majors, you make different templates according to what major they are and say how the company could appeal to them because of that major, how it could propel them onto future careers, things like that. And that would make them more enticed to go to the company. Also, we said if they attended more job fairs, that's directly making connections to people, to the students that you're eventually trying to employ, and that will make them want to work for your company because they feel that they can really connect there. The second recommendation that Cygnus Anates had for Invenio had to do with the pay figures. So we talked about the pay, how students selected pay as their #1 criteria, and how the students selected profitability also as their #1 criteria. I know Invenio has gotten a lot of recent awards for their growth and profitability. We said, while you're contacting kids, you need to let them know that that's how Invenio's been doing lately. Because as far as I'm aware, I'm not sure that that's been broadcast to people. It's more of like, once they get there, they find out, oh, this company is great. Like they've really made a name for themselves. So after you've made your profitability known, you want to let them know that you offer what they want. The figure that said 55,000 was the maximum number they expected to make. From what you disclosed to me, that is completely achievable under Invenio's current pay system. They pay base salary plus commission. So that directly correlates with what students want. So that needs to be highlighted to students when you're trying to recruit them also. Finally, the last recommendation we have is to try and aim for keeping workers in a shorter window. Right now, how long are you trying to retain workers for?
As long as we can.
As long as you can. So what's that target usually?
Well, I mean, are we talking specifically student workers, or are we talking?
Any worker.
I'd say 2 to 3 years. Gut check, 2 to 3 years.
Okay, so that's about what I guess. I said 2 years is probably your target. 1 to 2 years, I'd guess a little short. Our suggestion would be to try and aim to keep them 5 months, because with what we surveyed, by 5 months they've decided whether they want to stay with the company or whether they want to go. So if you open up your organization, if you make other members available to new members, so they feel comfortable, because I'm assuming you're losing a lot of workers in those first 5 months. Is that correct?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So if you're able to connect with those workers, really make them want to stay part of the Invenio family, then that means that they'll latch on to the Invenio culture, which I know there is a strong culture there, and it'll make them want to stay for a longer period of time, 2, 3, 4 years maybe even, before they go on to other parts of their career or move up the Invenio ladder. So those are our 3 biggest recommendations, and there were other little things that we saw in the figures that we could talk about later, but those are our 3 main points for offering Invenio recommendations. I'm going to hand it back to Peter now, and he's going to conclude our presentation.
All right, so just to recap, Kyle talked to you about our primary and secondary research. Kevin talked to you about our findings and conclusions, and Adam talked to you about our recommendations. Again, Team CIA recommends that Invenio keeps their sales force motivated within the first 5 months. As well, we recommend that Invenio contact students personally. I want to thank you all for listening to our presentation today, and I'm going to have my group come up and we'll answer any questions you may have. Thank you.